What's up there, guys? Welcome back to Digger Detecting. Welcome also back out onto the steel droppers. Look out, it's happening again. We've been doing this for the last week or so, and basically unearthed already how many, Zave? 82 steel droppers. So what we're doing today is looking for more steel droppers in the next paddock, and that being the one that we're in right now. Don't really want to drive the car too close because I don't know just where this fence line runs to, but I want to sort of put the car over the back here. Look, it's a huge open paddock, and some remember exactly 12 months ago, exactly April of last year, we did this very same job looking for steel droppers. So we're going to put the car off the crop here somewhere without trying to run over any. We've just spoken to the landowner, John, and John said, look, where the box-thorn hedge is, mate, sort of run a strip up along there, because that's where he suspects that the steel droppers are. And what I did there quickly the other night is actually looked up on the internet, looked on Google, what have you, looked on a few of the old maps. In 1936, the map that I found, these plantations weren't here. And then later on in about the 60s, 70s, I found maps where they were early infant stage. You know, the trees had just been planted, they were only very young. And then you look at maps there today, and they're not there, they're all gone. So the fence line and the trees would have ran all the way around here, bordering the creek there. There's a creek down the gully there, and then they would have bordered all the way along this fence, back to the road, and then all the way back where you can see those trees bordering, back to the house property. So what we're out here to do today, as I said, look for some steel droppers. It's a bittersweet job, and it's a bit of a bittersweet day today too, because in my mind, look, I'll just say in my mind, 6 years ago I lost a very, very dear friend, a very close friend, a good friend, and a sad loss too, a very unnecessary loss through domestic violence. So look, I'll touch on that a little bit. I think it's an important thing to share because it's an important message to get out there. Domestic violence, you know, it's not okay. It's not okay. So let's make a start. And look, this is a good distraction today from as I said, 6 years ago, what took place. So let's make a start. Let's find some rubbish and some steel droppers. All right, well, Z-Man's running the Equinox 800 just like the other day. That was in retirement mode, but he loves the machine. So he's running the Equinox 800, horseshoe button on, making sure that you're picking up on rust. And we've got the sensitivity right up at 25. So Zave's going to go off one way. First, we're going to find the pegs, the steel dropper line, and then he's going to go one way. I'm going to go the other way. We're trying to be as efficient as we can today. What I'll do later is put the drone up in the air too and just give you a bit of a look around at this area, this countryside. Absolutely stunning. We've also got a river down there, which will run the drone up and down and give you a look. And actual fact, my brother used to farm manage a lot of this land. There's 7,000 acres here owned by one owner. And in actual fact, my brother used to manage all 7,000 acres. And down in that river there, I don't think I'll be able to get the drone all the way over there. I'll try. But down in that river there, the local kids used to swim down there. Now the river sort of intersects with a couple of different gullies and creeks there, but where it comes to a head and intersects, that's where they used to swim, look, probably fish and maybe even camp. But what's fascinating is down there, and it should be really protected because it is starting to wear and rot away, what have you. But down there is fascinating, where the kids used to swim and what have you. On the rock wall, they used to scratch their names and the date and look, everything in there. And look, some of the dates go back well before World War One, you know, back into the 1800s. And it's a bit of a timeline, a bit of a progression, you know. You see Jack and Jim and Bob and Bill and all that, and they'll all have put a date next to their name, and it'll be 1888 and 1913 and you know, 1940s. And look, fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So anyway, let's turn around, let's go this way. Let's make a start. As I said, pick up on that line, explain a little bit more as we go. We're going to put the drone up, we're going to find some steel droppers. Zave go one way, I go the other. All right, well, we got our first dig, and it's not a steel dropper. We thought we were on the money, being on the run, being on the line here. It turns out it's half a horseshoe. It's pretty cool. It's off an old horse, Dom. Yeah. Wonder how old it is. So let's keep going though, because we need to pick up on that line. And as soon as we find the first line, the first steel dropper, we should just be able to run in a row and pick up the rest. Let's keep going. Yoink. All right, we've moved away from Xavier a little bit there. You can see him hunting over that other area where we just found that horseshoe there before. Look, what we're doing though, that was the pick. What we're doing though is trying to pick up this run heading back to the main road there. And I think we may have just got it. So that's our first one. Generally the droppers sound up as a large iron signal. I mean, they are large iron. So you're going to get a large number on the screen, or a high number on the screen, indicating that large iron. And also in the pinpoint range, he's short and sharp at the moment because I went in and out of pinpoint. But that dropper, generally the droppers sound off very loud in the ground and like a large sounding signal when you go into pinpoint. The dropper should be right there. And I think we literally just hit him. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's what we're out here for. The other day we did 82 of these, and you can see just why we're out here. That is, well, it's folded over. Look, not probably a big issue. If you run one way it would be, but running this way with a tractor, probably not a big issue. But $2,000 a tyre for the tractor, I mean, technically, you know, we did 198 of these last year in the paddock there west of us right now. Look, technically $2,000 a tyre, 198 steel droppers that we removed last year. We've already done 82 in the paddock north of us here. Well, you do the maths. So it's a lot of money saved. So there's our first. Save. We got one, buddy. That means the run of droppers should run back that way and then potentially run past my car, capping off the end of the row. And once again, should run directly back to that fence line. And in actual fact, we're in line. Let me zoom you right in. We're in line with that strainer post on the right hand side of the gate. It all makes sense, doesn't it? So let's mark this one, walk about 10 paces, and we'll find the next. All right, well this job's going to turn into be quite an easy one, I think. There's the next one. Quite simple. And if we just, look, we'll just stick the pick in there to make sure. Once again, 11, 12 though, big iron numbers. And there it is. Ting, ting, ting. Right there. So let's just space that out. Thought there was something there, but just a bit of rusty wire. So you can see our little pink flags we used from last year, and we didn't salvage these. When the bloke ripped out the steel pegs, he actually ripped these out and gave them back to me. So thanks, Benno. One space though, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Generally about 10 paces apart that I've found when I've been finding all these pegs. But then some are 5, some are 12, just like you've seen then, some are 13. So we'll go off the 10 theory once again. And if they are spaced out differently, you know, we're going to space out the next ones to 13 and see where it leads us. But if they're, well, look, they're generally spaced out 10 apart. So we're going to do another 50, 60 star droppers today. And you can really see why the farmer wants them removed. Look at that. Needle sharp. So they would have been snapped off on the ground once upon a time by the farmer when he removed the plantation. Snapped off, just ran over with the bucket, with the tractor probably, and left that deadly star dropper in the ground. So crazy. Let's dig them out, flag the next, flag this one I should say, and find the next. How you going, Xavier? Good. Trying to pick up on the run, mate? Do you want to come back this way and we'll find your first one for you? Let's give Xavier a hand. I'm running the small coil today too, just to get in between all this stuff. And look, a lot of swing today. There is a lot of swing today. So small coils are just a benefit, because swing all day, it does take it out of you. So you run a small coil, just makes it a little bit easier on you. There he is. Alright, we'll go after this one for Zaz. Just help him dig him out a little bit. Trying to get me pick out. Here he is here, mate. Somewhere here. Yours? He's stuck in a stuck in a tree root or something. What's going on here? Was a plantation around it, but look, there's a steel dropper there, just beside it. So nasty guy, and to be honest, this one probably wouldn't hurt you because he's got the tree root, the knob of the tree root right above. So dig him out the best you can. You might have to dig off this way a bit, mate, just to expose him. And look, I'll throw you a flag. Just be careful because those bamboo sticks snap very easily, but just simply push him into the ground a little bit. So make sure the birds don't chew him. Well done, mate. Mighty effort. And this is a paid job, and I said to the boys the other day, whatever we're paid, look, I'll divvy out some for the boys because they are doing man's work today. Man's work. Right, well, the boys are off busy doing that one, so I'm going to let them be. They're going to dig it out. We just helped Zave remove that tree root too. So while they're doing that, I'm going to touch on quickly, just quickly, about my friend. There's our next one. So her name was Beck. I wasn't going to mention names, but look, I'll say it. Her name was Beck. Beck I'd grown up with for a long time, and we've become really close. And we never were, you know, we never went out or anything like that. We were never together as a couple, male, female, you know, never boyfriend, girlfriend, nothing like that. Beck was just a really close friend, and she was actually dating one of my friends at the time. So there you go. Look, long story short though, I lost contact with Beck when I cleaned up my life and moved on from all that bad behaviour that you know, I've spoken about in the past, and mixing with the wrong people. And Beck was not one of those people, the wrong people to mix with. She was just mixed up with me in amongst those people. The long and the short of it is I got out of it. I moved on. Beck didn't. And this was really hard to say, but 6 years ago, back in 2019, the world lost Beck. We all lost Beck because of a domestic violence relationship. And I'm not going to go into details. I don't want to go into details. It's painful to go into those details because it's just not pretty. All I'll say though is the world lost a wonderful person, and you know, Beck being tied up in all that, I just wish she hadn't been. I wish she had got out, found something different, found something better for herself. Her attacker was her boyfriend. The neighbours did nothing when it was all happening. They heard it all. They even seen some of what was going on. In one account, someone went over and knocked on the door, and he said, "Go away. It's not a good time." Well, if you've seen and heard something like that as a neighbour and you suspected something, you shouldn't be going away. Well, you should be taking further steps, and no one took those steps. And sadly, she was rushed to hospital, and she never made it any further. And she had a little girl. She had a 2-year-old little girl. Now, I'm not going to say it's the saddest thing ever, because there's people out there that have, you know, went through a lot worse and had a lot worse, but how bloody tragic. And I said I lost contact with her for so many years, and I've you know, we just went different ways, and that happens. You know, it happens in life, but poor Beck didn't stand a chance. And it makes me sick to my stomach that her boyfriend, of all people, or anybody would do that to a female, or to anybody in general. I'm not being sexist here. It's not about a male female thing. It's no one should have to suffer anything like that ever in their life. just disgusting. And she did, and she paid the ultimate price. Her daughter's now being raised by, there's no flag on her. Her daughter's now being raised by the rest of the family, and the rest of the family are left to pick up the pieces and miss her every day. And every year the anniversary comes around and I see a reminder for her birthday on Facebook. I'm the same. I miss her. So biggest thing from that, I feel, is domestic violence is so real. I mean, I've been through a little bit of it myself. I can't really say I've, what I just spoke on is it's just crazy to even say that I've been through a little bit myself. It's nothing compared to what I just said about with Beck, but it happens both male and female. And yeah, we need to recognise that. And the hardest thing about domestic violence relationships is people think, well, just simple, just leave them, just get out, just move on. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Like, I think people that have that conception, or that misconception, don't truly know what's going on, or have never truly been through that experience. Oh, if that was a steel dropper, we just got him out. Oh dear, it's not a steel dropper. But yeah, look, it's just one of those things. It needs to be taken so seriously, and the fact that it's not in a lot of situations. I mean, this guy who did this, on the day of the attack, he was let out on bail, for God's sakes. How does that happen? How is our justice system allowing these people who fiercely attack other people in the community, and it's their partners, how's our justice system allow them to go walk out on bail? And I'm not smiling about that. I'm utterly disgusted in that. He ended up getting convicted, and 9 years he got. 9 years. I'm 37, Beck was a couple of years younger than me. So he got 9 years, she got a life sentence. Disgusting. Let's keep going. Right, on a lighter note, Zoe's found 3 more star droppers. So he's just shouted out, Dad, I need 3 more flags. While I've been filming and talking about all that horrible stuff, he's found 3 more droppers. On your Zaz, on your Dom. Oh, hang on. That's 2. 1 doesn't have a flag, see? Let me fix it for you. 3.
Thank you.
And I've got some green tape in the car, I think it is. So if we run out of flags with, or run out of sticks with flags, with pink flags, I'll go get the green ones. And where we just got that other target there, a bit of just rusty wire off the fence. 1 step forward, as we said, that's our next one. So we're going to get another 50 odd star pickets out today for the landowner. And as I said, paid job, but we're certainly saving him a lot of money in flat tyres. Let's keep going. Rightio guys, well, there is the road, and there is the strainer post we were talking about before. So that means we're at the end of the run. And look, it's been a mighty run too. We actually ran out of flags. So we've got star picket right there, and you'll notice we've got a gateway right in front of us and an intersecting gateway right behind us, which we actually drove in. Thankfully we didn't drive too far to the left here, although he was deep underground, so we probably wouldn't have hit him. But something like a tractor, especially during winter time, a tractor's certainly going to sink down with the weight and definitely hit on those spikes. So 1, 2, we've run out of flags, remember. I'm going to count them on the way back though. 3, 4, 5. The boys have been doing an absolute mighty job too. I only wonder how many they've dug out properly. 6, 7 and 8, because it is important to dig out just enough of the head there where they can wrap a chain around and lift them up. So that's number 8, 9, 10. When we get back to the car too, I'm going to have a bit of a break. We're going to get Felix out. Felix the drone, fly him over the river. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's where the flags end. And I reckon Zay's run out of flags too as well. So 22. Oh, these flies are crazy. And we'll go see how the boys are going. 22's not bad. Righto boys, how are we going? Or boy, other boy over the back there grabbing a snack. How do we go? Good. Do you know how many we've got?
I heard you say 21.
21? Oh, 22. Looks like Zave's been having a bit of a dig around here. What's happened here, mate? You found one or lost one? He's over here. So it can be tricky, but he's right there, that one. In actual fact, he's sticking up out of the ground. So that's how bad they are. Oh, look at that, caught him on the boot. So 23, we should have another one fall about here somewhere. And this is where you've stopped. You've quit that one. Well done, Zave, well done, Dom. So 23, and this one will be number 24. So let's have a bit of a break. What do you reckon? Put Felix up in the air, have a fly? Over the river? Not in the river? In the river. No, not in the river. And we'll have a bit of a break. Rightio, well I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a Felix fly. I always love getting him out. He's just so fun just to fly around, look at the lay of the land, and look, just check things out. And I know this area, I know this land very, very well. I've been out here detecting for the last 10 years. I've walked foot all over this land, all over these paddocks, so I know it well. But it's great to show you guys as well. And while I was doing that, Xavier has unearthed, I mean, we stopped back there. No, sorry, we stopped back at that flag and we dug a few more out before we took a break. I stopped right here where I laid the Equinox 900 down. That was my last target. And Zave, actually, I need that. Zave has continued on while I was flying Felix, having fun, finding more. 1, 2, so we're up to about 22, I think, before we finished. And then we dug a few more, put us to 25, 26 thereabouts. So that's got to be about 28. We'll count them again later. That's got to be about 29. He went further forward and that was about it. He stopped at, let's just say 29 there. And if our pacing is correct, about 10 to 13 paces, remember. If our pacing is correct, it should put us somewhere near this little box thorn hedge here. And we're getting a lot of signals just in and around it. But we haven't found the steel droppers or where they're going to be just yet. So we might have to clear a bit of this box thorn hedge away. Or who knows, maybe we're at the end of the run. Maybe the steel droppers now run off that way, in front of Dominic, or behind Dominic I should say. Maybe we need to chase them. We did get a target here, but it was just a chunk of wire. So, but you can see there, we've got another run of plantation. And we're not too worried about doing the fence line out there. I mean, if it was capped off both ways, left and right of the trees, we're not too worried about doing the left-hand side of the fence, the old fence, if it was there. We're only really worried about doing the right-hand side. And to be honest, I don't think if I was a farmer, I'd even worry about putting a fence line along there. I'd just put one capping off along here and keep your cows in the paddock. So maybe have some access to water somewhere. You've got some big wire, have you? Connected to this one. Oh dear. So we're going to try and get as much as we can out, but ideally now where we're up to is, well, looking for that the next run of pegs. See if we can find them. What do you got, mate?
Fire.
Wire. See if we can get him out.
You're fired.
Oh, fired, wired. All right, well, I think we've had a bit of success there. We're picking up all the wire and the tin and the rubbish that shouldn't belong in the paddock. The farmer can come and collect it with the tractor when he gets the steel droppers. And as I said, I think we've got the bit of success here. We've got a steel dropper here. We've got another steel dropper behind Zave that we've just dug out. He's on a bit of an angle. Look at that, angle of the dangle. He's actually not that, he looked a bit loose there in the ground. Got another one here. We've got a bit of wire there. We've got a bit of wire here that we couldn't dig out. So that's all part of the fence line. What I'm just wanting to do though, just to be thorough, just look around back in here, because we've got the last star picket right there and then we jump all the way to there. Doesn't make sense. So unless he had it on an angle and there's a star dropper waiting on the inside, that's what we need to work out. So another one, another one, another one. Safe to say we're on the fence line. There should be one underneath my feet somewhere. We may have missed it because as you can see they've been burning off. There's a heap of charcoal and ash there. So they've been burning off, or maybe that is it right there. But we'll just run back that line anywhere I'm not sure about, like over there and right here. We'll just double check as we go. All right, well, making our way back onto this run here where we weren't certain about those missing pegs. We actually did find them. So I spent the last half an hour just humming around in this corner. I like to be as thorough as I can with my work, with anything I do, and that's just how I am. So we found one more peg there, being thorough, nice. We found another peg there, I think it was that one, or maybe it was this next one, I can't quite remember. But then we looked for that next peg to join up these two. You know, did the run go all the way to the corner here in a straight line and then jump across, or did the farmer just fence it out in between? And look, I walked in and out of here, I cleared some of this box thorn hedging. Horrible stuff, horrible stuff. I was just explaining to the boys how the early Australian settlers brought them over, English settlers I should say, brought them over, planted them out for box hedges, and then worked out they were an absolute pest, and then got rid of them, eradicated them. But they're still popping up today. They're shocking things. So we couldn't find any more star pickets in between here. So I dare say, standing right here, and as the crow flies, it puts us back to that peg there. So I think he's just went on a bit of a hairy angle and then continued on up to where the boys is. So, or are, I should say. We've done really well though. I think, look, well over 30 pegs. And John, the farmer, he just come in here in his Hilux and he said, look, fantastic job, love what you're doing. He actually asked, how do you find them? You know, how are you finding them? What does it sound like on the detector? So I gave him a bit of a listen. The pegs are getting real close here too, look at that. So I gave him a bit of a listen, and he did say to me, he said, mate, up on such and such a road around the corner there, we've got some more property. Would you like to go and have a go at another patch? And I don't mind. As I said, it's good distraction, especially today. Really good distraction off my mind. Just being out here digging, and I don't care what I'm digging, as long as I'm just enjoying a day out at detecting, swinging that machine, and look, of course with the boys, especially today, as I said. So I will take him up on that. We'll go around the corner. I did say to John, we're bringing the camper out this weekend, John. Hitting the gold fields, mate, for some gold. So yeah, look, we will do it, but it won't probably be done all this week. You know, we might follow on and do a little bit more next week. So school holidays, we can't just have the boys out here digging star pickets. Well, we are nearly finished. We're nearly at the end of the run. Look out. You happy, Dom?
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah.
Yeah? He's in pain at the moment. What's wrong with you?
My legs and this bit on my back.
Oh, your legs, and well, that's where you're just sticking the pick. You're putting the pick into your back. No wonder it hurts. As I said, we're nearly there. We've done a man's job, or the boys have done a man's job. I've just done a job. But look, we are nearly there. And this is all not only just so the farmer can save a bit of money on tyres when he drives over this area, but eventually he'll rip these trees out. He'll probably remove a lot of those rocks out there, and then he'll get probably another half acre or acre of land. And I know it doesn't sound like much, you know, you got to pay me to come out and find the droppers, then you got to bring the machinery and pay for the diesel, someone to drive them and remove the droppers. So that's time, that's labour, that's money. But look, over a period of a lot of years, the farmer regains a bit of this land, and when he regains the land, he then can crop it and make money off it. And you know, it may take 5, 10, 20 years. Look, there's steel droppers being thrown in there. It may take him 5, 10, 20 years to recoup his expenses that he's done, you know, clearing these trees and hiring people to remove all the droppers, what have you. But over time, he will make the money back, and then he's got the next generation after generation after generation to be able to farm this unused little bit of land. So it all makes sense. And the land that we did there last year, April, 12 months ago, in the paddock north of here, well, that's all being cropped and seeded and utilised now. So you can see why it's worth it. And to be honest, we've lost the line. And with the pegs sitting there, I'm wondering whether we're going to pick it up again, Dom. Because they may have been removed. All right, well, we've nearly made it. We're nearly at the end. We've probably only got about, what? How many boys? 3 or 4, you guess? Yeah. Because look where we are. We're right on the corner of the trees, man. So it should cap off and run around. So hopefully this is it. And we just got the last few picked up, no worries. Zave's just sort of humming around, double checking. And this is the next one. So we'll just clear that out of the way. He's going to be somewhere there. Get out of the way, Boxthorn. There he is. I think I can start to see the rust coming out. Yeah, straight off the top. So detectors are so handy, they really are. Like I was just saying to the owner there before, you know, coin and relics these are designed for, you know, hunting the treasure. But to be able to come out and locate all these steel droppers for you, what a bonus. Awesome bonus. There might be 2 there. Oh no, it's a rock. So we've got maybe 2, 3, 4 left to go. Let's just see if we can pick up one more. Right there. In actual fact, look at that. You can see him. That's how dangerous these are. Anybody walking along even barefoot, or look, gumboots, that would hurt. Zave's getting in front of us now. He's trying to finish us off. You're going to beat us, are you? So one more there, and the spacing's really out of whack. Look, Probably for what, 6 or 7 steps apart. It's probably 3 steps apart. Where are they, Zaz? That's not one. That's not one. That's not one. 15. Here, mate. Right here. Get the bulldozer boots in. And you know what? He's right under that boxthorn hedge. Let's grab the pick. Dom's got his little pick. Show us your pick, mate. Do you know how I got that?
Yeah.
That was a Kris Kringle gift from a bloke at work. We all did Kris Kringle last year. Oh. Yep, it's definitely a steel dropper there. I just hit it. I did Kris Kringle last year. And that was given to me by a bloke at work. You know why?
Why?
Because he knows that I go gold detecting all the time. So he gave me a pick. So there we go. There's another steel dropper. Don't cut me fingers off. Rebel without a cause you are. All right, so we'll just finish off here. Look, the run should cap off here, I'd presume. If not, the landowner and I spoke about it. Oh, there's a bit of white needs to be removed. Landowner and I spoke about it possibly going back out and running back to my car. Let's bloody hope not, but we're going to make sure of that first. All right. The plot thickens again, and I thought it might. I just didn't let the boys in on that secret. So we've just finished running down, and we probably collected about another 30 odd star pickets from my car all the way down to this capping off point. And you've seen there before, we ran all the way along the road, and we did another, what, 22, 23 thereabouts. So we've probably got about 50 odd pickets uncovered for today, not pulled out, but uncovered for the farmer to pull out. So we've done that side. Now what John was just saying there before, he thought it might have went that way and then back again, but it doesn't make sense, because what are you capping off? What are you actually fencing off? Nothing. You're fencing off the trees here. So I sort of presumed the fence would go around and then back on itself. And bingo, guess what? Oh dear, we're only halfway through. We've got a cool target there, we'll show you too in a second. But Zave and Dom were just sitting down, having a break, and I thought I'll just, just check it, because curiosity will get the better of me otherwise. And bingo, here is the next run of steel pickets. And thankfully they look like they're a bit more further spaced apart. Maybe he sort of started running thin of pickets and started spacing them a bit further. So maybe we may not find as many on this run. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, so they should be about on the 4th. But on the other side, that would have been about 20, 28. So we're going to make our way all the way up there. I did say to Zay, be very, very careful of snakes, especially in shorts. There's a river down there, and it's a rocky, stony area. So I might get in front of him and get bitten by a snake, if that's going to happen, before Zave does. But let's take you back here and show you this first, because this is a pretty cool little find. And Dom, do you want to see this, mate? Come here, buddy. Dom's going to love this too. Just learning, just little things and learning. I always try and teach the boys everything I can, because it's memories for them in future. And one day in future, they're going to be able to teach their children. What is this?
A bullet.
A bullet. Now, what do we got though? We've got 2 parts of the bullet. Why would it be in 2 different parts? What are the 2 different parts?
So this is probably like the shallows in.
Yes.
And then this is what it would come from.
Yes.
Like it would be in there, and then it would go. I
don't even need to teach you nothing. You're clever. So that's the shell, that's the bullet casing, or what they call the shell.
Yeah.
And that's where the powder, the black powder goes. And when the firing pin, when the gun goes bang and you pull the trigger, a little pin goes tink on the end of that, and that ignites the powder. Now what comes out the end of the shell?
The bullet.
The bullet. And they call that also a projectile. So that is what flies through the air. That is what gets ejected from the gun. And the next one gets pushed up into place, ready to fire again.
Yeah.
But that there, my boy, has he been shot or has he been dropped?
Dropped.
How do you know that?
Just a wild guess.
Well, that's a great wild guess, because you know what? You're dead right. It hasn't been shot, because you can tell, because we got that at a 43, 44 on the Equinox 900, and he's a bit broken up now, but he was all complete together. And that tells me one thing: someone was shooting probably roos or ducks or birds or foxes or rabbits.
Or cows.
Or cows, maybe not, but shooting on the side of this bank, I think, and they dropped a bullet. And that, to me, look, I don't know my bullets that well, maybe 222, 302, it's certainly not a 22, but that's a big bullet. That there would probably take down a cow if you hit it in the right spot. Do you want to keep him?
Sure.
Sure, you've got a bullet.
This sort of looks like a sniper one.
A
sniper bullet.
Maybe it's a sniper bullet. Maybe he had a sniper rifle.
Because what movies I watch, the sniper bullets are like long.
Yeah, and tapered at the top. And do you know why they're long and tapered like that?
Why?
For aerodynamics. So when they go through the air like this, they cut through the air and they go super fast and super accurate. Because what happens if the bullet was going like this?
It would go ahead and push on its flat side and slow it down.
And it would wobble. It would go all over the place and it wouldn't be accurate. So the bullet is shaped in a certain way to be most accurate and travel the furthest it can.
And it's like a Formula 1 car. They are sort of like sniper bullets. They go ahead and move really fast because the front goes ahead and moves upwards.
That's right, but what happens to a Formula 1 car if he goes too fast?
Crash.
Well, no, he goes like this, and he takes off in the air. As I said, I love teaching the boys stuff. It's those little things too that they'll take with them for the rest of their lives. Let's keep going. Well, that caps us off. That's been a good day. We have just finished this run. And just the last 10 minutes, I've just, look, I didn't film it, but I've just been humming around here trying to pick up on those last droppers where they connected onto this other fence line, the boundary fence line. So the last one that I could find though, and look, there's a ton of wire. I'll just show you. Look, there's a pile of wire where they've been burning off all the fence posts and trees and bushes, what have you. But there's a ton of wire around here, so I did have a few little digs just trying to locate, but no steel droppers that I can find. Even there, I've had a bit of a dig. I've got to fill him in. The last one that we got up to was this nasty looking bugger. Look at him. He's so sharp. It's amazing. It's like they've been sharpened up in the ground. It's like they're some kind of trap, but they're not. They're just a steel dropper that's been snapped off. So we've got one there though. We've got the next one, and that picks up that run and that row, and it caps around and comes back around what you've seen us doing there before. Now the boys have just run up to the road. Hopefully not on the road. They won't. They've run up to the road though. Oh, they're not even there. And what they're going to do is they're going to basically ID how many that we got up on there. So I think it was 22, 23 we're up to. But I'd like to just count, not just for my own measure, but so I can let the landowner know. You know, we did 82 across the road there, and we did not do any filming, but we did 82 across the road there. So if we've done 82 over there, he knows he's got to pull out 82. If we count these and we've done 60 whatever here, he's got to pull out 60 whatever over here. So fascinating, and we've done a mighty job. We come out here at 10 o'clock. It's 1:30. So look, done a really top effort today. We'll get the figure from the boys when they come back, and we'll start counting the rest. Alright, well, the boys have just finished running back. They've done a great job, and they've marked out 31, or counted out 31 star pickets up until this one here. We've just marked him in the dirt. 31. So we're going to continue on counting the rest. Who's a good counter?
You.
32, 33. All day of school today, or school holidays. You should be counting. 34. So we're going to continue on up here. 35. Not going to worry about the ones that are laying loose, just the ones that are buried. 36, and most importantly, we can give this number to the landholder. When he comes here, he knows how many pickets to remove. 37. Let's keep counting. 38, and we'll see how many we got. 39, 40, 64. Dom's the counting man. We're going to beat him though. 65, too loose on the surface. And look at all this. Still got all this wire to pick up, and the farmer can do that as he goes. 66, 67. We're going to make it to 100. 68, 69. Another loose one. A lot of firewood around here too. 70, 71, and he's got a bit of wire, steel dropper, and one planted. So 71, 72. Oh, last dropper. We'll just leave him sitting over the top. 72. Where's the rest? 73, another loose one. Just sit him there. We did really well to find that one. He's been all sort of harrowed and mixed up. What'd you say? 73? 74? 75? After we finish here, we're going over to see the landholder too. That's a nothing. That can be filled in so it doesn't confuse anyone. 75. Right. And that's the end of it. So after this, we're going to go see the landholder John back over East Paddock and check out, he's just pulling out the last few, and then we're going to, as I said, go check out this other paddock. We're not doing any more today. That's it. Look, we've done a man's job. Boys have done a man's job. I've just done a job, as I said. So what do we say? 70?
75.
76? 75, 76?
198.
198, that'll do. Look, you know what, I can cheat. I can go back and check this clip and check exactly how many we've done. So look, that's it for us today, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed. And look, it's a bit of a monotonous job. As I said, it was a great way for me to take my mind off things today and just get out and about, get out and enjoy life and enjoy, look, being out here doing what I love, and that's detecting. Doesn't matter what I find, it's just as long as I'm swinging the machine. So had fun, boys? Yeah, and ready for camping this week?
Yeah.
We've got the camper ready in the shed, and we're going to find heaps of gold, aren't we?
Yep.
If not, just have a good time doing it. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. We look forward to seeing you on the next. Cheers.
See you next time.